Shalom, everyone, and welcome back. This week's horror portion of Toldos tells the interesting story about how our father Yitzchak and our mother Rivka had two children who were exactly opposites to each other, Esav and Yaakov. Esav was the wild, tough one, and Yaakov, on the other hand, was the more passive one who was the student, the one who sat in tents of learning, and who was really a credit to his parents. And at the end, really, it says that Yitzchak wished to give Esav, the wicked one, the blessing, not Yaakov, while his wife, Rivka, wanted the blessing really to go to Yaakov, who she felt deserved it better. In fact, we are told that it was Yitzchak who preferred Esav, who loved Esav more, and Rivka preferred Yaakov. Now, the question is, why is that? Why would such a holy man like Yitzchak prefer such a wild, obnoxious son like Esav? And Yitzchak was such a holy person. He was the one who was chosen to become slaughtered in the altar with Abraham, who was called an Ola Tamima his whole life, a pure sacrifice, a pure holy offering to God. Why would he prefer the wicked Esau? In fact, we're told that the Zohar tells us that early on, Esav was as good a scholar and as good a person as Yaakov was. It's just that later on in life, he turned and he became the wicked person that he ended up becoming. So why is it that Yitzchak preferred Esav? Why is it? We would think, in fact, that a mother, Rivka, would prefer both of her children, would love each of her children, but it wasn't so. So there's an expression, Maisa Avo Siman Labanim, the actions of our forefathers were a sign upon the children. Actually, all of our forefathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and our mothers, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah, were all purely righteous people. They were complete, pure, holy, righteous people, tzaddikim and tzidkanios. So why is it that they gave birth sometimes to children who were not so pure? Avraham to Yishmael, and Yitzchak and Rivka to Esav. How is that possible that that happens? Well, you find that sometimes parents who are the best parents, the holiest parents, the most wonderful parents, can give birth to children who are not so good. In fact, children who are so bad, so evil, that they can get in serious trouble. And they come to the rabbi and they say to the rabbi, "What have we done wrong? We have two children and same parents, and they raised them exactly the same way. And nevertheless, one turned out good and one turned out bad." Someone once asked the Rebbe this question, that we raised them exactly the same way and they came out completely different. The Rebbe said, that was your problem. You raised them exactly the same way. Each child is different, and each child requires a different form of raising, a different form of upbringing. Each child has their unique qualities, their unique talents and abilities, and we need to recognize them. One child might be very academically oriented, the other child more mechanical. One child might want to be more the scholarly, religious person. The other one might be more inclined to business and to the work field. And they're completely different, and they have different interests and different talents. We need to recognize each child has their own abilities, their own talents, and their own interests. And that is the unique thing about it. But that does not mean that we should love or not love each one of them. Each one of them is precious and each one of them is holy and special. And that is really the unique thing. In fact, if we have a child that we're having problems with, that child requires even more love than ever. That is really, I think, the lesson of the Parsha more than ever, to give each child their own unique upbringing and what they need in their own special way. Candlelighting tonight is in San Diego is at 4:25. Davening will be at 4:30. We're going to be having a special birthday party for my granddaughter, Shalva, at 4 o'clock. All the children are invited and with their parents. And we'll have birthday cake for her. We're going to give her her very own unique Shabbos candle holder. At 3 years old, the children start lighting candles. And it should be a lovely, lovely little party, which will go into Mincha Maariv. I want to wish you all a good Shabbos, and we'll speak to you next week.